Habari Entertainment proudly presents Habari Live. Habari Live. From Phoenix, Arizona. And you're listening to the Habari Live podcast. The show that brings you news, sports, and entertainment for people who love HabariEntertainment.com. Here are your hosts, Aisha, Jimmy, and Damon Dipleen Ellison. Let's get it going. We are all the way live.
Yo, good morning. Welcome to another episode of Habari Live. Habari Ghani, my people. We are thrilled to bring you the latest edition of Habari Live, your go-to podcast for the pulse of Phoenix and beyond. Like always, we are all the way live in Paradise Valley in Phoenix, Arizona. I'm Damon Dipleen Ellison and my co-host,
Aisha.
And today will be your guide through the exciting stories and everyday happenings in your vibrant community, your weekly dose of inspiration, innovation, and insightful conversations from the heart of the city. Let's get it going. Yeah, man. Yeah, it's been a crazy week in politics, man. Another crazy week. We did get one thing that's good. We got President Trump. They're calling him Taco, because Trump always chickens out. And this week he's starting the fights again, starting to get deeper into the trade war with China again. And he said that they broke an agreement that was put in place between him and China, but no one has any idea what the deal was or what exactly they did to break the deal. No one knows because he hasn't told anyone anything and nothing's in writing. So we have no idea what he's talking about. But like always, he's in the news every single day. Every single day, there's something else happening. Every single day, there's some crap that he's talking about. So, we're going to try to keep you guys updated on the whirlwind of politics that's been going on this week. But let's first do the quick rundown. And Aisha, go ahead and run it down for us.
Yeah, we've had, can you fix my camera, please? We've had a lot of, because I was not in the...
You're going to have to move. There you go. You're good.
Okay, whatever.
Go ahead.
But a lot happened this week in the news.
Mm-hmm.
Just so we know, we had a bunch of surprise clemency moves this week.
I guess
President Trump stunned the public with a wave of clemencies this week. He pardoned NBA YoungBoy, citing an unjust sentencing.
There you go.
He pardoned or commuted the sentence of Larry Hoover, who's the founder of the Gangster Disciples. He's serving 6 life sentences, and his sentence was commuted from 300 years to 200 years. Now his charges are state charges that he's having to worry about.
Yeah.
And then he also pardoned reality TV stars Todd and Julie Chrisley, who were convicted of fraud and tax evasion. And now their pardons are raising some eyebrows this week.
Yeah, man. I saw a lot of people talking about the Larry Hoover pardon. A lot of people like that. Myself, I respect the family fighting to get dude out of jail. He's an old man now. But I wish that our community didn't focus on these type things. Yeah, everybody want bro to be out. He served a long enough sentence, I would guess. I guess a lot of people are saying that he was railroaded in these causes, but he's also, we all know he's the leader of the Gangster Disciples. So it's a tough situation. I just wish that it wasn't so many people online celebrating him coming out. I just wish we had another focus, man. But I do understand the family fighting to get the man out of jail. I do understand he's 74, I believe. So I understand the situation, but it's just sad that there's so many, man, that this gang lifestyle and the allure of the gangs and the streets is something that's still so prevalent in our neighborhood, man, in our community. And so many men my age were celebrating bro coming out. So it's kind of tough, man. You know, I don't want to down bro, but he he's a leader of a gang that has caused a lot of murders in the black community, a lot of killings. I know some people try to just look at the bright side of gangs, but it's tough to look at the bright side of gangs when they cause nothing but turmoil and destruction throughout the city. You know, I want to be pro the neighborhood. I want to be pro the block, but when the block is all pushing things that's hurting the neighborhood, it's hard for me to get behind those things.
Mm-hmm.
You know, bro was a big leader, but I do think it's sad that so many of us celebrating Big Meech and Larry Hoover at what's your boy name? What's the rapper name?
NBA Youngboy.
Nah, he said Big Meech, hallelujah, some shit like that. Rick Ross, he's the one that said it. Rick Ross kicked those lyrics, and you know, respect for those. We respect the people who were able to make it off the streets and make a name for themselves. But when violence and of these other things are part of it, it's hard for me to celebrate these things. You know, unless these people are coming out doing something positive for the neighborhood, it's hard for me to be behind these people. Hopefully he comes. I don't know if his state I think he 200 years in state. So I don't think that's going away. But it's still, you know what I mean? You can do two things at the same time.
Right.
You can understand his family trying to get him out, but you can also say, man, look, man, dang, are we still worshiping this guy?
Right.
We're all old now. You know, shouldn't we come on, man, let's do something different. We have to have better leaders. But go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. Some additional information that came out for Trump this week is that he's also having some legal troubles. If you remember, a while back we talked about how Trump was suing Paramount for the CBS 60 Minutes interview with Kamala Harris, right? So Paramount offered Trump $15 million to settle the lawsuit. And Trump says, no, I don't want your 15 million. I want you to give me 25 million.
Man.
So, I mean, you know, we're going to see how far, or if Paramount does bend the knee and give him the 25 million. But as it stands right now, they just only want to pay him the 15 million and get this done and over with.
Man, the sad part is that all the money is going to his pockets, and we're sitting here watching it, and people are acting like this isn't corrupt, like Rufus 2112 said. This is corruption, man. And it should not be something that other politicians are just looking over while this dude collects money. Because he's the president, and he's trying to say, oh, they ran a interview that put her in a good light, and he didn't like that. Mm-hmm. They have a way they can edit their fucking program the way they want, unless they're not misconstruing your words. I don't understand why they're bending the knee for this dude. It doesn't make any sense. Like, what are y'all doing, man? Forget him, man. Forget that dude and what he's trying to make you do. Mm-hmm. The fact that Trump is putting his nose in so many private companies, when I thought a core value of Republicans were privatizing business. Mm-hmm. Private companies. I just don't understand. It doesn't matter, Michael Warren, if it's a drop in the bucket. To me, he is using his power to punk these people, to make these people give him money because he's the president. And that's terrible. It's bad that you should even think that it's okay for a president to pretty much, he's a mops, he's a gangster. He's going up to, you know how gangsters used to do, companies, go in there and beat them up and make them pay for protection. That's what he's doing to these people. This is not right, man. This is what they would call racketeering, I guess. Like, dude is really using his power to take money from people. I mean, it is unimaginable. I can't imagine being anti-Trump because I'm very anti-Trump, Mr. Chris Blade.
May Mama 77, he is manipulating. Yep. I told my family he reminds me of The Sopranos.
Mm-hmm.
And that's exactly what we're watching
Yes.
play out.
This
Exactly.
dude is he's from that area, that New York area. He grew up with these guys, these good fellas. And that's the type, those are the tactics that he used. He's using mobster tactics.
The private company never messed with him first.
The private company put out a video that he felt as though
was edited. An interview with 60 Minutes and Kamala Harris, and Trump didn't like it.
It does. I don't understand. Everybody edits their videos, and how this company is editing their videos is their business. And if Kamala Harris isn't upset about it, what is he so upset about?
Right.
Like, it doesn't make sense. She still lost. So what are you mad about, man? It doesn't make any sense. It's dumb. Did you say anything about Biden forcing Americans? Oh my goodness. Hey, brother, Henry Grace. We had a pandemic called the Spanish flu in the early 1900s. We made people get the vaccine.
You do know that's where the influenza vaccine came from.
We made people get the vaccine then. And there were people like you 100 years ago talking, saying, I don't want the vaccine. This is
over
the same.
It's
right. It's the same shit, man. You want to die from polio? Did you take that vaccine, Mr. Henry? I bet you, Mr. Harry Grace, I bet you did take that. I bet you got the polio vaccine.
I bet you got that mumps and measles vaccine.
Quit it, man. Quit it. I lost people during COVID. I'm not trying to hear crazy stuff.
Rufus 2112, felon, declared bankruptcy, committed adultery, cheater in many ways. That is Trump.
That's a great explanation of the taco
summarization. Yep.
The taco in chief.
His job is to take care of the people, not himself. If they don't want to take the vaccine, don't. Bye. RIP.
Yeah, man. If you don't want to take the vaccine, don't.
Playing a tough guy.
I agree. But the thing is that these people, some people don't agree with vaccines. That's fine. But the companies don't want to deal with people like that. People don't want to deal with stuff. Schools. When it's a lot of people and you live in a society, we all have to do our part to try to keep diseases from ravaging the society in our communities. Mm-hmm. And those people who are against it and don't care about what's happening to others, that's your life, man. You have anything else?
Yeah, we got a couple more here. Kevin Costner is facing a lawsuit. He's being sued for sexual assault by a former stunt performer. Mm-hmm. The allegations involve incidents during filming of a movie, which Costner has denied all claims for through his legal team. So he's not put out any statements of his own. He's doing everything strictly through his legal team. Mm-hmm. And again, critics are arguing that Trump's pardoning of Todd and Julie Chrisley is sending the wrong message about accountability for white-collar crimes in America. This is something that we see way too often, where people who commit white-collar crimes are often pardoned and get off or get away with committing the crimes that they do and face no accountability. But let their counterpart, someone who has more of a darker skin complexion, they're going to not be pardoned. They're going to pull every day of their sentence.
To me, one thing I can say about Trump's pardons, and I could be wrong, but it doesn't seem to be any rhyme or reason to your man's pardons, and to me it seems like people are paying him. I just
whoever's paying him the most money is whoever's getting the pardon.
It doesn't make any sense. What is he? Who is he? For one day he's pardoning Larry Hoover, then the next day he's pardoning tax evasion people, the next day he's pardoning Young Boy. Like, he's just pardoning. It has to be per donation. Then the one person did go to a party, $1 million party where people were buying in to get into the party, was $1 million. Then the next day, they're talking about pardoning their family members.
Right.
I think it was her son. So we see what's going on, that there has to be something, because it doesn't make any sense. He has to be pardoning people by money.
You think he's going to pardon Diddy? I have said it was going to happen for a long time. Pardon per donation.
Yeah, I mean, if Diddy got the money, he'll get pardoned. That's all he's saying. And he was like, yeah, I'm open to it. Yeah, because he's open to getting that money.
Yep.
Because I'm telling you, it doesn't make any
Line
sense.
in his pocket.
Yeah, Kodak Black, he was pardoning some stuff because, like I said, I believe that they're paying him. I mean, it doesn't make any sense what else is going on.
It doesn't.
Biden pardoned pedophiles, murderers. Yes, Biden pardoned some people too. I think every president ever has pardoned people.
Right.
But my thing is this. Trump has his pardons. It just doesn't seem to have a pattern to them. It seems like it's all over the place. I can see if he's like, I'm going after white collar criminals and people that were in situations where they have been targeted unfairly. That's what he's saying. But then you go get a dude who was a gang member from Chicago. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Then you go get another guy, young, I think NBA young boy. I think he had gun charges.
Mm-hmm.
So like it doesn't really make any sense. You can say Obama, when he was releasing people from prison, he was letting people go that had drug cases where they were given terms that they thought were unfair. What is he doing? Now, I'm not sure what Biden was doing either, because the things that he did was in some ways to protect his family and his people from Trump, who was coming into office.
From revenge.
And he knew that Trump was going to be on a revenge tour, which he is. He is on a revenge tour. He pardoned these people to try to keep them from getting into trouble in the future.
Yep.
So I hear you, Harry Grace. Biden pardoned a racist white judge. You keep saying it. We hear you, bro. We hear you. Biden was so racist. Did he remove DEI? No. Did he remove Job Corps? Is he trying to take from SNAP? Is he trying to take from Section 8? Those are racist. Those are racist moves. Let me see. Let's see what's going on TikTok. Thank you. I believe this. This is a great program. See all the photos of him, Melania, and Diddy. Yeah, I've seen them. But Diddy still got to come out some money though, bro. Just because he in pictures with him don't mean he's automatically going to get that pardon. And they're handing the money to his son. I believe so too, man. I really believe that Trump is taking money from these pardons.
Yep.
It doesn't make any other sense.
It doesn't.
And that's real. What else you got?
This week, Harvard decided that they were going to return photos of slaves. After a 15-year battle, Harvard University agreed to relinquish the early photographs of enslaved individuals that were taken without consent.
Mm-hmm.
The photos were taken without consent.
Right.
Harvard has now decided that they're going to relinquish these photos. The descendants of those that are depicted in the photos are calling this a victory of historical justice.
Yeah, man. We have to applaud Harvard. I don't understand what it took 15 years to figure out that you need to get these people their pictures back.
Exactly what's
but
long overdue.
You did the right thing. That's all that really matters.
Mm-hmm.
And Harvard, they're going through a hard time right now with the president up their ass every single day, trying to say that they are being and treating Jews unjustly, which is bullshit. Nobody's treating Jews unjustly. This is just made up shit. All the racism that's going on in this country that the right love to ignore, but some reason they care about Israel. And anything anybody says about Israel, even post online, they were fighting for people to say the N-word on Twitter. But if you say anything about the Jews, you may get kicked out of school or out the country.
You can't even say the term cisgender on Twitter without it being blocked.
Yeah, man, I don't understand what these people are on. How you going to protect one group but don't give a fuck about another group? It's weird to me.
It's okay to say one term, but you can't say the other.
It's weird.
they pick and choose what they want to say.
Right.
But you're right, St. James. Trump did pardon Sheriff Joe Arpaio.
Yes, he did.
He did that during his first term.
And Sheriff Joe Arpaio
has tried to
been a piece of shit racist as long as he was in charge.
Yep.
And they always talking about somebody else's racist. They don't care about all the racism that's on the right. They don't care. It doesn't matter. They don't care about none of that. But let a Democrat do something racist, they will never forget it. Just like this dummy talking over here. Oh, you don't vote for Biden, you ain't black. They love to say that shit. But any racism that comes from the right, oh, it's shut up, you're crying.
You're playing victim.
They kill me, dude. They kill me. You're crazy. Jews are being murdered because of. Please give me one time a Jew was being murdered for it. Come on, tell me the case. Tell me the case. We know about the two kids a couple weeks ago who died. That is true, but we don't have people getting killed in Harvard, bro. Harvard has nothing to do with that shit. There was a crazy dude in Chicago that killed those kids. You can't put that on Harvard. And how many, and then you care about the Jewish people that are being killed, but you have no thoughts or cares or prayers about all the people from Palestine that's dying. Don't care about them at all. I don't understand how you don't understand. How don't you see it both ways?
They don't care to see it.
They don't care about the other people.
Only when it happens to them.
The Israelis are committing true genocide, not the made up one that's going on in South Africa. And here come this black fatigue. I wish you people would learn to read. Black fatigue means black people living life through racism. They've hijacked another one of our words, like they hijacked woke. Now they're trying to hijack black fatigue. Oh, black fatigue, man, I'm tired of hearing about black people. Man, dog, racists kill me, man. Y'all are the cryingest people, dog. We're going to go into that a little bit.
Speaking of some of the chaos that's going on this week, a Mesa community college professor is under investigation after students were asked to strip on stage during a classroom demonstration.
What the hell? Huh. I don't get it, man.
And the rest of the class was made to watch.
Wow. Huh. I don't care about Candace Owens, bro. America first. Who cares about Candace Owens? She's a racist. And then how many Palestinians do I know? What the fuck does that have to do with anything? I don't know any Jews either. That mean that their plight doesn't count because I don't know them? What are you talking about, man? Look at this guy. Fuck Palestine. Richard Drunker. I wish y'all would put y'all real face on here, man. Harry Grace, he has the balls at least to be a real racist in real life. He don't care if people see his face.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? He just, you know what I'm saying? He a real racist.
You know, it's crazy because of all the
Didn't
chaos.
The Palestinians murder you? Dog, okay. So because that happened in Palestine on October 7th, they get to wipe them out. They get to kill all of them and their kids. They get to commit genocide to those people. They get to take over all of their territory, murder them all. Really? I swear, man. And then y'all talking about the South Africans, y'all crying about them, but don't care about the Palestinians. People are weird. Y'all weird, man. How y'all pick and choose who you care about.
Oh, look at Frank Ruman. What are you talking about, mixed girl? I'm proud to be mixed. Guess what? You know what? Nigerian, German, Irish, Scottish. Pick your poison.
Right.
Because I can go with either one. I know my lineage, bro. Do you know yours?
It doesn't matter.
Anyway, the controversies that's going on.
Look at how many people saying fuck Israel and fuck the Palestinians. Like these people are weird
because they have no sympathy for anyone.
Yeah, I worry about the Ukrainians too. You're the people that the Russians, y'all with the Russians, the Republicans are with the Russians.
They're okay that somebody is being attacked and the person that's being attacked is standing up and defending themselves. And it's fuck the person that's defending themselves. That's how they are.
Yeah, man. I have to agree with Rebecca. White, fragile mentalities, unfortunately. Yep. We have a lot of those people that love to watch the show and come in here I do not hate Jews because I do not want them to commit genocide. I don't know how that equals hate towards them because I want them to stop killing
Humanity
people.
over everything. That's right.
Stop killing them. I mean, dude, y'all won. Y'all have mopped the floor with them. Please stop killing them. I don't understand how that equals, oh, he hates Jews.
Right.
Like, dude, this world today is wild, man.
It is.
South Africans are being genocided by their own government. What are you talking about, bro?
They don't know.
I don't know what he's talking about.
Anywho, moving on.
Mm-hmm.
This week, a controversial bill headed to Governor Abbott's desk. And the bill states that it is okay to discipline preschoolers through second grade. Most of the critics are saying that this is going to disproportionately affect students of color.
Mm-hmm.
And also, it's just a whole bunch of BS if you go read this bill. Like, they're saying that they can suspend preschool students to second grade students up 10 days.
Yeah.
And have the administrators review their suspension every 10 days just to see if they can come back to school.
That's real. I mean,
a preschooler?
We've already talked about the from preschool to prison pathway pipeline has been called out for years. The kids that start getting suspended and kicked out of school, they usually go on to a life of prison and jail, and we do nothing to save these kids.
And they're talking about simple classroom disruptions. A kid making funny jokes, and they could be suspended for constantly disrupting the class.
Yeah, man, I don't understand how you can't get control of a 5-year-old kid
exactly
as a teacher.
And in the one of the arguments for the supporters is saying that, you know, they witnessed a 5-year-old student tear up the classroom, destroy the classroom.
Yeah.
And the teacher did absolutely nothing. This was the school superintendent that watched this happen. And instead of the school superintendent, the teacher, or the principal of the school.
Live access suspended. TikTok sucks.
That's because somebody reported us.
Oh my God. Hit no.
Hit no. My life does not contain the mentioned in the notice.
Just close it, I guess, man. Whatever, man. These people, boy.
Yeah, motherfuckers on TikTok, they don't like nothing. People report you for absolutely nothing. It's not gonna let us go back live, so don't worry about it. They removed our live access
because one person said something.
Yep,
it's so annoying.
Because they didn't like something we said.
Trump voters, man.
Right.
The biggest crybaby chumps in the world. Can't talk about nothing without them trying to say,
my feelings were hurt.
Take them off. Take them off.
They said something offensive to me.
Always calling somebody else snowflakes. But as soon as we don't agree and kiss y'all king's ass, y'all go and report our lives. Like, dude, this is something that happens all the time. It's garbage.
Yep, it is. And, you know, in addition to Texas getting ready to approve this bill, Scottsdale parents are furious. Not only the Scottsdale parents, the Scottsdale police enforcement is also furious that Arizona has that the school district has approved textbooks that reference Black Lives Matter and George Floyd's death. The debate is reigniting questions around curriculum, censorship, and racial justice in our schools.
Hey, stop.
It's okay for us to talk about Winston Churchill and anybody else that's white, right? Let's just say it like that.
Right.
General Lee, Ulysses S. Grant. It's okay for us to talk about them and learn them, right? But when it comes down to Harry Tubman, Nat King Turner, and any George Floyd, even when it comes down to these characters, these individuals, black individuals,
right?
We don't want that being taught in our schools. We don't want slavery being taught in our textbooks.
Yeah, man. Anytime it comes to black people's plight, history, anything that has to do with us, they don't want it in the books. It was a lot of hate Black Lives Matter received, and the group wasn't perfect. They did a lot of dumb shit, so people are going to pile on that and try to use that as a way of saying the things that people were talking about and wanting changed in this country means nothing. So we can take all those things away, and we don't care about Black Lives Matter, and we don't care about any of those things. Let's not even learn about it in the schools, even though this was history, something that more people joined up to protest than any other protest in the history, even the civil rights protest. This was a huge, huge, huge protest. So to say that this guy should not be taught, these things should not be taught about, learned about in school is ridiculous.
Yep.
America first. George Floyd had a fentanyl addiction. Nobody's kids needs to hear about that. He pointed up, dude.
Don't censor it, but don't cram it down a kid's throat.
Look, dude.
Kids need to learn their history, bro.
It's history.
And I'm sorry, if you're white and your feelings are hurt because someone is teaching black history and what black people had to endure and the hardships we had to go through, and your feelings get hurt, you might be racist.
I have to disagree with you, Mr. Vroman. Black Lives Matter did fix some issues. Those body cams that we see nowadays,
that's because of George Floyd.
That those things are changes that happened. I know Trump is doing everything he can to throw out everything that's been built and by these police by these changes in the police officers. What he did in Phoenix, he came here, threw it all out. They're trying to hold these people accountable for the bull that how they treat people, and what he's doing, throwing it out. He wants the police officers to do whatever they want.
He wants to give the police officers immunity.
Yeah, immunity, for they can do whatever the hell they want to. So it's a crazy place we living in right now, man.
Exactly.
And it's I don't care how bad of a person someone is. Just because someone is a bad person doesn't mean that their life gets to be snuffed out and we shouldn't care. I know that's the way conservatives think. The people who are for Jesus, the people who say they are Christians,
look at the conspiracies they come out with. He put a gun to a pregnant woman's stomach. F him.
I don't care if y'all try to say he committed. That doesn't mean he gets to get snuffed out by a police officer because he felt like it.
That doesn't mean
he should have got a day in court.
Exactly.
And he should have shut up.
He should be sitting in jail for his crime.
If he did that, then he should have got a day in court like anybody else. Like, why would he just get murdered? And y'all like, well, he did a crime. So, like, you people act like y'all read the Bible, but you don't. You are devil worshipers. You care about nothing but murder of people.
They don't follow the Bible. What are you talking about? They don't follow the Bible at all. Because if they did, they wouldn't be eating swine.
Oh, my goodness.
They wouldn't be eating seafood.
They don't follow the Bible like that. You know that. But anyway, that's all we got.
This week, a teen was arrested. Two teenagers were arrested.
Your heroes are. Your hero is Trump. He's a felon.
Exactly.
So you might want to take that statement back.
Exactly. 2 teens were arrested this week following a robbery and double homicide at a marijuana grow facility. The police are saying that the crime appears to be targeted and linked to organized theft within the cannabis industry.
Yeesh. That's one thing. Teenagers. That's one thing that they thought was going to happen a lot when legalizing this. A lot of people doing crazy things, but it hasn't happened as much. I hope that this is one of the only stories that come out of this, because that's just messed up. It's terrible.
It is, but the most notorious thing that stuck out to me this week was that Trump dismantled the Job Corps. The U.S. Department of Labor announced this week that they announced a phased pause in operations at all contractor operated Job Corps centers beginning June 30th. Now, this June 30th date, yes, that is what they said. However, there have been multiple reports from multiple states that are saying their Job Corps programs ended or will be ending June 2nd through June 6th.
Job Corps, man.
3 weeks prior to what they're saying that it should be closed.
Job Corps has changed a lot of lives.
It has.
For people trying to get a second chance. It just seems like, you know, the Trump is just dismantling anything that helps the poor.
Yep.
And anything that helps people in urban communities to change their lives.
Exactly.
It's just terrible, man.
And this Job Corps program serves approximately 50,000 low-income youth annually. Now they're facing scrutiny over its effectiveness and the costs associated with keeping it operational.
Mm-hmm.
With a reported $140 million deficit in the previous year. The department said that they plan to assist its current students in transitioning to other educational and employment opportunities during this period. But many people are reporting that they're out of jobs. They can no longer work because this program has been shut down in their area.
Yeah. You know, it's tough, man, you know, because, you know, we watched Elon Musk walk out today, yesterday, and say that his Doge is done. No proof of how much money he's supposed to spend. He supposedly saved us.
Mm-hmm.
They said it was going to be $2 trillion that he was going to save. Some people say it's a low billion that he was able to save. But all the things that he's cut, all the programs, a lot of the judges have came out and said, hey, this is correct. This is incorrect. You can't do that. You got to go through Congress first. Most of all of these things is because, you know, these monies were already allocated through Congress. And to get these funds removed, you're supposed to go through Congress. So hopefully, you know, they sue and they do something to try to stop this guy because, you know, just like this week, he lost a couple court cases on his tariffs.
Mm-hmm.
Because the tariffs, the president does not have the power that Trump is trying to take. He's not a king. We know that the right, this is what they want. They want a monarchy. They don't care about the Constitution except the Second Amendment and the First Amendment. When they get to say the N-word, that's when they care. Other than that, they don't care about the Constitution. They want Trump to be the king. They really do. And it's crazy to see people being put in place that are going around talking about how it's going to be okay for him to be the king. I saw a guy on TV today discussing his plans of creating a monarchy and making Trump the king. He has connections in the Trump house, and he has people in with Trump that he's talking to, so he can get rid of democracy. He's talking about only the certain people will be able to lead. Only certain people will be able to have a vote. I mean, these are the things they're talking about, man. And it's crazy that we've been discussing the Constitution all these years when we had a group of people who wanted to be with the British.
Yep.
The turncoats, red coats. They're Benedict Arnolds.
Right. And speaking of the him dwindling down the votes, didn't he say that he wanted there to only be one vote per household?
I don't know. I never heard that. But
yeah, they were talking about if a woman got married and she took her husband's last name and it doesn't reflect the name that's on her birth certificate or her ID or whatever, she couldn't vote because her name is different than her birth certificate or something like that because she's got her husband's last name.
I don't know. Look it up. I don't know.
You know, it's a bunch of dumb stuff that's being said out there. But I'm just going to go ahead and address this comment from America First. Unemployment rate is down. Sorry, bro. The U.S. labor market is showing cracks, saying that corporate profits post their largest drop since 2020.
These people live on Mars. They don't care. They don't care about the truth. Everybody has been talking about how bad the fucking economy is, and these motherfuckers still talking about it's good. Like, dude, there's nothing. This man could shit on their head, and they would sit around and talk, oh, that shit really smells good. He just shitted on me. I feel great. They love it. They don't care what he does. He can do anything to them, and they would just roll with it. You smell like diarrhea, bro. Oh, you don't smell those roses? Like, they're ignorant. We were able to, when Biden was in office and inflation was going up, everybody talked about it. But for some reason, these people, when their president does something wrong, no, you're lying. Fake news. But when it's Biden and we're talking, everybody can discuss it. Egg prices were going up. We can discuss that thing. We can discuss it when it's a Democrat. But when it's a Republican, we can't have a discussion. Right. It's not real. It's not real. You're fake news. But us, Biden, he did some things that he left the border open too long. He didn't shut that stuff down. Those people was coming for asylum. He did a horrible job. We all can discuss that from both sides. But if Trump does something, you see the tariffs is making prices of stuff triple and doubled. You can't say that about them. You're lying. Like, what the dude from Walmart came out the other day that said we got to raise prices because of tariffs. The dude from Amazon said we got to raise prices because of tariffs. You're lying. Fake news. Like, dude, what planet do y'all live on? Why, when it's a Democrat, y'all can see it clearly? But when it's a Republican, your eyes are glazed over. You never, ever see anything that they do wrong. Ever. I notice the things that Trump does wrong, and I notice the things that Joe Biden does wrong. I can see it. I can see that too many people was coming in the border, that he was going to lose on that. He wasn't doing a good job. I can say that. No, Kamala was not the border czar. When has it ever been up to a vice president's job to make sure? It was up to Joe Biden. He's the leader. He was supposed to make sure those things was going down. When Obama was in there, they sent off more people than ever. He was supposed to pick that up. He didn't have to go after criminals. He was not supposed to go after people that was working and doing the right thing. He just go after criminals like Obama did. He did a bad job on that. You can't say it was Congress because I can say that Congress was slow, because when they finally did get a bill together, Trump blocked it and they listened to Trump.
Yep.
Trump wanted to run on it.
Yep. So and that's the only reason why nothing happened with the immigration bill that Biden had put forth before Trump had got into office, because Trump said, "Nah, don't vote on that bill, kill it."
Right. But the reason why, though, the only reason they had that opportunity is because Joe Biden dropped the ball.
Yep.
Trump wouldn't even had that opportunity. Had dude did what he needed to do. Now we got a new president.
Big D said, no, they're looking through orange colored glasses.
Yeah, they are, man. I agree, Mr. D. I mean, these people are crazy, bro. He can't do anything wrong. Every news source throughout the country is talking about what's going on in America. You go to Fox News, they're talking about Joe Biden lying about his diagnosis of cancer. They're talking, oh, we need to hold Joe Biden accountable. What?
Y'all do know.
The dude is dying. He's never going to be the president again. What do we need to talk about him for still?
Exactly.
The dude that's in office is 77, whatever the fuck old he is. We don't care about his health. You know, this dude, he turns in his health card written in crayon and nobody says a word. Oh, I'm the best. I play a whole bunch of golf. I'm in shape. And the people just take that. But then they're like, oh, Joe Biden, he didn't tell us. He wasn't clear. What about the guy in there now? He's not clear. He's not transparent about his health. He eats McDonald's burgers every day. I know his colon got to be ready to explode. Like, but we ignore that.
Right.
I mean, dude, I just don't get it. We going to have Habari News Weekly, right? Let's go ahead and run Habari News Weekly, man. Craziness.
And now, this week's Habari News Weekly with Damon Dipling Ellison.
Sponsored by no one, but we're going to talk about some deep stories here today, man. Just a little bit, and some of the things that we've been seeing, even on my comment section right now. They love to come in, they see a black face, and it doesn't matter what we're talking about. Oh, you're playing the victim. Well, let's talk about the people who are playing the victim big right now.
He would use crayon. He used a 24 karat pen.
I agree with you, Jesse. Right. A 24 karat pen.
Everything gotta be gold.
But we're going to talk about a couple things, man. When we cut through the noise and bring the truth, of some of the things that we've been seeing. And a lot of things that I see a lot of days is people telling me how I'm playing the victim by calling out the crap that's going on today and talking about the people who are not helping the disadvantaged. I'm not a disadvantaged person. I'm not crying for myself. I'm talking for others, for people who are poor, no matter what color you are. Now we have a group in this country nowadays, the white male conservative, who really believes that he's being left behind. Trump has got into office, and a lot of the things that he has done, and a lot of legislation that he has tried to put in place with his executive orders, is to help these people who are hurting. You saw him go to South Africa and try to get the white folks who are hurting. In America, he has to get the immigrants out because the white men, they say they're taking their jobs. The white conservatives say that DEI is hurting them and they can't get work because black people are just being handed jobs when they don't deserve them. These are the people that are sitting around telling me that I'm crying while they're passing laws to try to stop people from getting jobs because they think that they're being surpassed. It's a tough situation. It's a tough subject. No one wants to look like they're racist towards anyone. Everybody needs to have a fair chance and a fair shake. Everyone. I don't care what color you are, which way you lean. But nowadays, it seems like that the people who want others to not succeed because they feel as though other people succeeding is hurting their value. It's hurting them. So let's talk about it, man. Today's stories, like I said, buckle up a little bit. Buckle up, man, because we're going to talk about this. And I know a lot of people going to call me racist. They're going to say all the things. They're going, Robert McCune, I'm a racist. Right, I know. Black people can't talk about racism without being racist. I understand. I get it. That's your crybaby mentality, man. Racism cannot be talked about unless you're a racist. You can't be bringing it up. You can't bring it up, or you're a racist. How can we fix something that we can never talk about? How do you do that? How do you fix something that we can never discuss? Never. Because every time it's brought up, we got the Christians, we got the conservatives hollering and screaming that they don't want to hear it. So what do? We cut DEI. We tell people that, oh, you're getting jobs that you're not supposed to, and they're just handing you jobs because you're black. Right? These people really believe this. They really believe that somebody's getting a job over them because of their skin color. This is already in the law books. You cannot hire someone based on their skin color. It's already there. But the white conservatives, they want to tell us every day that we don't know what we're talking about. That people are being hired because of their skin. Go ahead. You're first.
Yeah. This week, did you already do that part?
Mm-mm.
Our go-to segment for Facts with Fire and a side of fearless commentary this week. I just can't, with all the drama that's been going on with the Trump administration. That's all I'm just going to call it. His administration is the most drama-filled reality TV show that you could think of. And to me, he's using the presidency like it's a huge apprenticeship showing. Like it's a huge episode of The Apprenticeship.
Okay.
And that's kind of what I think about his...
Yeah, I mean, it looks like a game show.
Right. That's what I'm trying to say.
But,
He looks like he's just trying to play a game show with the presidency.
So today's story, like I was saying, because we're unpacking one of the most ironically dangerous narratives that's out there, man. Jesse Brown, before we get started, I'm going to say something to you. Merit has never been a part of America. Never. It's always been nepotism. And you guys sitting around talking about merit. Merit has never, ever, ever been a part of America. It's always been who you know. And y'all can sit around and throw that merit shit around and act like it means something. Black people were being left out of all of these fucking these jobs and positions for hundreds of years.
That's why you're 90% of the CEO workforce.
Exactly. So, go ahead.
Well, conservative white men are now the new victims.
Yeah, why they call everybody else the victims.
But we have to ask ourselves, what are they the victims of?
See, for them, they feel like diversity, equity, and inclusion makes them victims. That since DEI was giving people a chance that they don't believe supposed to have a chance, those things are hurting their progress. And that's their thought pattern. Yep,
you're right. And, the new complaint has them looking like they have what they like to tell us. Victim mentality.
Definitely.
While Black fatigue trends in conservative circles, the fight for their rights started when Trump took office the first time.
That's real. And let's talk about the audacity of the conservative white male victimhood today. And while it's not just hilarious, it's harmful. And I want to say, we know this is not all white men. We have a lot of good people, like the people that was here today we talked to. We don't care about color. But this is a trend that we are seeing often in our comment section. Yep. When I'm talking online, it's always these guys trying to tell me how I'm getting a bigger advantage of them because of my skin tone. Even though Black men are one of the lowest when it comes to employment, we are the lowest on the branch. White men are the highest on the branch, and they're looking at us saying we have an unfair advantage. What is going on? So let's get into the reality of representation and power.
Yeah, let's go ahead and let's ground this conversation with some hard facts. Despite making up approximately 30% of the U.S. population, white men hold about 55% of elected offices at the state and federal levels. In the 119th Congress, 74% of voting members identify as non-Hispanic white, making it the most racially and ethnically diverse Congress to date. Yet still not reflective of this nation's diversity.
At all. At all. It does not show the face of this country.
They cry and complain when Black and brown individuals are in commercials.
They don't like that. There's too many Black commercials.
Or when they get a role for a movie or a TV show, especially Marvel.
Yeah.
You know how they cry about that.
It's the new thing, man. I can't even go to a post about Ironheart without some guy telling me we don't need woke Ironheart. We don't need Timu Ironheart. We don't need broke ass Ironheart. She's a fake Iron Man.
But they the first
we
ones
don't
that are
need it.
complaining that that Marvel needs to stick to the comics.
She's in the comics. They don't care.
But when they bring a character that's literally from the comics to the screen, oh, that's too much. That's DEI. It's woke.
It's crazy, man. They don't want to see black people in anything nowadays. And the comment sections, when it comes to these Captain America, if I can understand people saying I just don't like the movie, it wasn't good. That's fine, man. I saw people who said that. I don't care if you don't like it. That's fine. But some people are just like, oh, I want the white guy back. It should have been the white girl. It should have been the white dude. It shouldn't have been her. Exactly. That's when I start saying, hold on. If you don't like it, that's cool. But why are you saying she should be replaced by white people? I don't get it. Like, why this girl was black in the comic books? Why is it an issue that she has
that they brought her to
a TV show? I mean, the hate that this show is getting, man, is
the racism.
It's crazy.
That's showing.
And you don't have to like it. That's fine.
You don't like it,
but
keep
you don't
scrolling.
But to hate it because of the color of the girl's skin who's playing the part is just ridiculous. But in the corporate world, the story is similar. As in 2024, white men continue to dominate executive leadership. They hold an average of 56.63 of all corporate governance position in Fortune 500 companies. Mm-hmm. Women account for 27.2% of new CEO appointments, and the number of black CEOs has just declined to 8.
8%.
8. Just 8. We don't have an 8%. We probably like 1%.
Oh, so 8 individuals.
Just 8 motherfuckers. That's it. And they saying DEI has been giving us an unfair advantage, but none of us are CEOs. So let's talk about the income disparities across demographics in America.
When it comes to earnings, disparities do persist. In the first quarter of 2024, the median weekly earnings for white men was $1,254. In contrast, black men earned just $935, and Hispanic men earned $914, which are 74.6% and 72.9% of white men's earnings, respectively.
Yeah. And for women, the gap is also significant. In 2023, women working full-time year-round earned a median of $55,240, compared to $66,790 for black men specifically. Black women earned approximately 66.5 cents, and Hispanic women earned about 58 cents for every dollar earned by 9 white men, Hispanic men.
Yep. Which brings us to our next topic. We're going to understand poverty in America. The poverty rates further highlight systemic inequalities. Mm-hmm. In 2023, the official poverty rate decreased for white and non-Hispanic white individuals. However, the only group to experience a statistically significant increase in their official poverty rate was the 2 or more racist population.
Mm-hmm. These statistics underscore the persistent economic challenges faced by marginalized communities, even as overall poverty rates show slight improvements.
Yep. Given these disparities, let's just go ahead and roll into the misconception of reverse discrimination, right? So with these disparities, the narrative that white men are the victims of reverse discrimination due to DEI initiatives lacks grounding in reality. The data clearly shows that white men continue to hold disproportionate power and wealth in American society.
And, acknowledging systemic inequities isn't about assigning blame to individuals, but about recognizing and addressing the structures that perpetuate inequality.
Yep. So we're trying to move towards inclusive progress. That's the goal.
That's the mission. For everyone to have a chance.
Exactly. For everyone to be inclusive of all. But these positions of privilege, but those that are in positions of privilege, they must engage in conversations about equity with openness and a willingness to understand that people have different perspectives than you do.
Yeah, man. And by doing so, we can work collectively towards a more just and inclusive society where opportunities are accessible to all, regardless of skin color, race, or your gender. Now, I want to say something to Big D. Why aren't we talking about the plane from uh, uh, Qatar? We talked about it last week a lot. So I agree. It was ridiculous that he's taking this plane, and it's against every clause, the emoluments clause, that he's supposed to adhere those rules.
And Qatar
and
said
he is not
asked for the
right.
plane.
And then it comes out that the guy asked for the plane. You know, they didn't come to him.
It was not a gift.
He hit them up like, "Hey, dog, I need a plane, man. Y'all give me a plane for, you know, like, this is shady stuff, man. And we need to do something, but because the Republicans have the Congress, the Senate, they're not going to do anything. You two are racist as hell. Black women has to make a point. Scream white man. No, we're just discussing some of the inequalities that's going on in this country while we have conservatives hollering, screaming that immigrants and black people are making too much money. We're showing you the numbers that if you're black, you're usually living in poverty. If you're white, you're usually living in a better situation. And we're just going by the statistics. That's all. We're not just making stuff up. We're just going off the statistics, man. And when it comes to Fortune 500 companies, most of all of the CEOs, except 8, are white men. And we got a small percentage of women, but black men and women are not getting these jobs. While they go around and tear apart DEI because they think that we are getting a chance or we're getting an opportunity that we don't deserve, why aren't the opportunity CEO positions? Why does that only go to the white men? Like, come on. We can't be this dumb.
Yep. You're right. And, again, for those that you are tuning in, we are in the middle of discussing Habari News Weekly, where truth does not come with a filter or an apology. We're not going to apologize for the things that we say. We're going to read your comments. We see how you talk. We see how you interact with us, and we'll deal with you accordingly.
Yep. So let's get into this next story. The segment 2 here, the business of education and who benefits from the privatization of education. Now, this is something that's been going on big time nowadays, man, with these with schools vouchers, and most of the Republican states are going towards these school vouchers so they can kill public schools. In Arizona, we are seeing many schools shutting down, and many kids are out marching to try to get their schools to stay open. But as less and less funds are going to these schools are shutting down. And like I say over and over again, when these kids don't have schools to go to, what do you think they're going to do? They're going to be in the streets committing crimes. Yep. They're going to be out here doing things that they should not be doing, when we should have them in the school teaching them and guiding them the best way.
Private user, come down to the ghetto where the whites have nothing. The Mexicans get everything. Oh my goodness, dude. Here we go.
Stop making up shit, bro. Please stop making up stuff.
Right.
Stop it. Why? Who is the richest demographic in this country? Stop it, man. Like, what are we talking about? I'm not saying that all white people have it good, but to say that the Mexicans get everything and the whites get nothing, come on, man. Stop the bullshit. Damn. In our second segment today, we're diving into the complex world of education reform, specifically the push towards privatization.
That's right, Damon. The debate over public versus private education isn't just about schools. It's about politics, economics, and power.
Yeah, the business of education. Who really benefits from this? Let's start with a quick quiz for our listeners.
Definitely.
Republican strategists advocate for privatizing education because, number one, education is a multi-billion-dollar market ripe for private investment. Number two, they believe the private sector inherently operates more efficiently than the public sector. Number three, reducing public education aligns with their goal of minimizing, government, the government. Number four, privatization weakens teacher unions, a stronghold of democratic support. And lastly, the fifth one, the rhetoric of school choice can attract African American and Latino voters. Or number six, all of the above.
Yep. And if you guessed it, all of the above,
Mm-hmm.
you are absolutely correct, because that's
Definitely.
exactly what they're trying to do.
Yeah, man. That's what they're trying to do. The push for privatization is multifaceted. So let's break it down.
Yeah, let's go ahead. Privatization opens doors for private companies to access these funds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, and that's the mission is to get these funds. That's why the vouchers are something that they really believe in. Many conservatives champion the free market, believing that private entities can deliver better services than government-run institutions.
You're right, and this belief extends to education, where they argue that competition will lead to improved quality. But I mean, we got some comments over here that says, can you scroll up just a second? Yep, right there. The school vouchers are another way to segregate. Most school vouchers are used by parents that already have children within private schools.
Mm-hmm.
It's a scheme to separate the poor from the wealthy in schools. And you're exactly right. Titan Brew, that's exactly what they're doing. And now states like Texas are now allowing students and parents of students who are currently in private schools. They're now allowed to use these public funds for public school vouchers in order to pay for half of their child's tuition. So a student who is paying $20,000 in tuition for the year attending a private school, their parent will now only pay $10,000 because they're gaining access to the school voucher.
And then teacher unions like the NEA and AFT are significant supporters of the Democratic Party.
Right. And by promoting privatization, Republicans are aiming to diminish the influence of these unions. They don't want your teachers to be unified. They don't want anyone to be unified.
Now, I'm on it, Nish. I want to talk about that. Public schools are doing so well, he says, especially in inner city districts that are majority black. No, they're doing horrible. But these policies will make them even worse. So I love that you all love to laugh at the inner city schools and talk about how bad they are, but you do not care about any of the laws that are making it this way. You do not care. You just want to point fingers and laugh. You don't want to do anything about it. You just want to laugh at them. The reason why the inner city schools are so bad is because inner cities take the tax money from people who are poor. So yeah, they're going to have worse outcomes than the people who lived in the suburbs, and they have better jobs.
There was a comment.
He said he was being sarcastic. Okay, Nish. But I'm glad you brought that up, though, brother, because it's something that a lot of people love to say. The schools are terrible. They definitely are. But we need to do something about it.
Right.
So Grover Norquist, a prominent Republican strategist, once noted that school choice gives initiatives that can erode the Democratic coalition by targeting its core supporters.
Yep. And the rhetoric of school choice is also used to appeal to African American and Latino communities.
However, critics argue that these initiatives often fail to deliver on their promises, leaving marginalized communities with fewer resources.
Yep.
People in these communities, they can't drive all over the city to take their kids to somewhere because they usually don't have a car to be able to do this. So are you going to bus these kids to these places? No, they're not going to do that.
Not only that, most of these people in these marginalized communities, they work. Sometimes they're leaving home super early in the morning, so they're not able to transport their own children to and from school.
Right.
Like a lot of the parents of students who are in private schools or using school choice voucher, and they're taking their kids. They work in Mesa and their kid attends school in Mesa, but they live in Glendale.
Right.
They don't have that ability to do that.
Mm-hmm. So you.
And, Arizona has also been on the forefront of implementing these school choice policies. And we've seen it time and time again where schools in our marginalized communities are being shut down because of funding, just to give that funding to a privatized school.
Yeah, I mean, the state's approach reflects a broader conservative agenda to reduce the role of the federal government in education.
Yep.
We did see that the courts have pushed back on the dismantling of the Department of Education that Trump has tried to push through, and the courts have said all the people need to be hired back, and the funds need to go back to the Department of Education.
Yep.
And I want to applaud that. I know
and
Trump
they also said that your student loans must be returned to the Department of Education.
Yeah, because they tried to give it to a different
the small business association.
Yeah, they trying to, it's just weird stuff, man.
Right, but the privatization of education is a complex issue with significant implications for students, teachers, and our communities, and we just need to make sure that we're hyperfixated, and we're involved in what's going on in our students' lives and our kids' lives, and what's going on in the school within our communities.
I mean, it's essential to critically examine who benefits from these policies and who might be left behind. We're going to see more criminals, man, if we have less education in our communities. These are not good ideas, man. I understand that a lot of people only care about the people who have money and give two fucks about the poor. But if the poor are facing hardships, then they're robbing you. Do you see the problem? Like, if we want to stop crime, we have to give people options and opportunity. So let's stay informed and engaged as we continue to explore these critical topics. That's all for this segment. Let's go straight into the next one. Let's see here. We want to talk about something that Joe Rogan was talking about, and it's about this group of white supremacists. They're called the Patriot Front, and it's been a big conspiracy theory, and we want to kind of talk about the misinformation that people have been getting. We're going to shift our focus to a theory that's been echoing across social media and podcast platforms, one that suggests that the far-right extremist group Patriot Front is secretly a creation of the puppet of the FBI, a puppet of the FBI.
Right. And, this theory picked up steam recently when popular podcaster Joe Rogan speculated that the group disbanded immediately after Kash Patel became the FBI director. Though, just to clarify, Patel is not and has never been the FBI director. That claim is factually incorrect.
So Rogan's broader point was based on the appearance and behavior of the group. He argued that the uniformity, the discipline, the marching, the U-Haul logistics resembled something too coordinated to be grassroots, possibly the work of federal agents trying to stage a threat.
Right, but here's the thing. Patriot Front is real, and they are active. Just days ago, members marched down through the streets of downtown Kansas City, Missouri, dressed in khakis, navy masks, and carrying Confederate and fascist-leaning flags. This was not a TikTok stunt, not a joke, not a prank, not something that they were just doing just to be doing. This is a hate group operating blatantly in the open.
I mean, well, you can operate in the open. Free speech. That's what they fight for. That's what they all love. We love free speech. And I mean, free speech is the backbone of America. So these people, they have the right. I remember seeing a KKK rally in the town I lived in back in Illinois, and they had protection, and they was able to talk on the streets of the steps of the courthouse and spew their hate.
Yep.
And how much they hate black people. And it was all good because, freedom of speech. But we come on this program and we discuss the racism, and I have a million people in here telling me to shut up and I can't talk about this. And I'm a crybaby and this and this and that. But the KKK can go onto the steps of Congress or the steps of any courthouse in America and talk about how they hate people. And it's all good. Right. Nobody has a problem. This patriot group can run around and jump out of U-Hauls on people and go into black neighborhoods, walking around screaming how they hate everyone. And it's all good. And we're going to act like it's fake, like we do with anything that happens in this country. Instead of taking the initiative to try to get rid of people like this, like victim, right? I know Bob Jones. I'm a victim because I'm saying that racism is just being spewed in America and nobody does anything about it. Right. I'm a victim. Anyway, y'all get on my nerves with that shit. But anyway, the Patriot Front is going around talking about Jews won't replace them and doing crazy stuff, messing with people with Confederate flags, wishing we lived back in 1870 something. And then here they come on here calling me the victim. So let's backtrack a bit, man. Patriot Front was formed in 2017 after the Unite the Right rally in Charlottesville. They splintered from the Vanguard America, another white supremacist organization, and they were led by Thomas Rousseau, a then teenager who has since been seen orchestrating their propaganda campaigns. Yes, freedom of speech. Right.
Right. And
definitely. And that's why I can say I hate racists, and that's okay. But every day I get people coming in my comment section telling me what I can't say.
Right. We got the freedom of speech. Y'all got freedom of speech. Y'all want to claim freedom of speech, but y'all hate everything that we say.
Right.
And want to call us victims. But, the Southern Poverty Law Center and Anti-Defamation League both classified Patriot Front as a white nationalist hate group.
Yeah, there is a lot of those.
Right. And they operate with a military-like structure, focusing on propaganda, stickers, banners, and videos that are meant to recruit and normalize their ideology.
Private user. Why don't you use your real name, bro?
Why don't you put your face on it?
Put your face on it to spew that racism. Your show is a hate show. Black Lives Matter is a hate group. Crips, Bloods. Crips and Bloods do not.
The KKK is a hate group.
Crips and Bloods do not talk about white people. They don't care. Black Lives Matter does not commit any crime. These groups are running around beating up people, jumping out of U-Hauls on people,
running people over with their cars.
And you just dismiss that like it's nothing. But then make up stuff about Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter, that's old news. It's old. It's 5 years old.
Hashtag.
And right, exactly. And it also was a hashtag. Never was a group. Just a couple people who was taking a whole bunch of money that people never should have gave to them. Because they never was a real group.
They're okay with Shiloh Hendrix taking money from people after she called a child the N-word.
Right. Now, that's fine.
It's okay for her to take that money, but the people who created the hashtag Black Lives Matter, it's not okay for them to take the money.
I have to disagree with you on one of those things because they did buy houses. They did do something. They did a lot of shit that had nothing to do with what they was online talking about. They took the money and personally put it in their pocket instead of doing things to build the community. So that's why Black Lives Matter, the group, gets a lot of shit because of the things that they did. But in the first place, I said it then. Why are people giving these motherfuckers money? They just people who was running hashtags online. They're not
That's
a real
That's
fucking
all they
group.
were doing.
Right. So they never should have got any money in the first place. But people were dumb enough to give them money.
And then they want to cry about, I donated to Black Lives Matter and I want my money back.
People
they didn't do the right thing.
People didn't think they was going to go buy houses, man.
What do you think this Shiloh Hendrix lady is going to do?
They don't care. They're not supporting.
That's not.
They got to understand the difference. People thought that Black Lives Matter was going to do something for the community. That's why they was giving her money. They giving her money just because
free speech.
They're celebrating the fact that she said the N-word. That's why they giving her money. Black Lives Matter was getting money because people thought that they were going to do something, but they didn't do that. They took the money and bought houses. So a lot of people going to look at that as stolen money.
The black boy murdered that twin and his family and is making it about race and making money off of it. No, they didn't.
No, they didn't, bro. It's no one made it about race except the racists. It's a situation where they think that he has a cause when it comes to what do they call it? Stand your ground laws.
Stand your ground.
That they think that this is a case that this could come from that. That's what's going on with that. It's not a situation where they're just like, oh, he's black, we're giving him my money. No, they think he has a case. They think he has a cause. They're not giving him money just because he hated someone else or because he stabbed someone. You know, everybody looked at it as a horrible situation, man. They wish that somebody didn't die, but some people think that this was self-defense. So they want to give him money for his case to get a good lawyer. That's all people were trying to do. If anybody gave him money because they felt, oh, yeah, you killed a white dude, I hope that the family would reject that money. I hope that anybody that did give money for that nothing but bad come to them, because that's garbage. You're supposed to try to make the community better, not worse. Not worse. So they've been caught planning violent confrontations many a times. June 2022, 31 Patriot Front members were arrested in Idaho, packed in a U-Haul truck near a pride event. Police found shields, smoke grenades, and tactical gear. That wasn't cosplay. That was a coordinated attempt to provoke, possibly attack. And yet, the conspiracy theorists that somehow these are actors or feds meant to frame the right. But let's ask the obvious questions. Why would the FBI stage white supremacist marches when the real thing is already marching? Like, how many hate groups do we have in America that don't like black people and Jews? I mean, there's thousands of them. And then they're online talking about black fatigue. And we don't have one hate group against white people, but there's thousands against us, but they have the fatigue. They have fatigue because we're tired of hearing about black people's plight. We're tired. Well, stop fighting against us trying to get what we want to have a successful life. We fight for the rights to get DEI. What do you do? Oh, DEI is no fair. We're trying to get jobs for we can stop being on the streets, for we can make a difference and make a life that means something. Let's stop that. Maybe stop hating us. I don't do Jesse Brown, you don't get the Jew hate. Me either. But I understand why people are questioning their government right now, because their government is doing some crazy stuff right now, man. You know, and you know, the people back in the day was screaming Jews don't replace us, and those are conservatives. But now they want to act like they love the Jews so much when they was just making excuses for the people who were saying the Jews won't replace us. It's really weird. Southern Fried Framer. We are tired about hearing about black people's plight. You got white people in the same damn predicament as black people. Some of them doing worse. That is true. But to say that it's like looking at somebody poor and they say, man, I really need some food. And you're going to be like, man, I'm sick of hearing it. I got poor people to fatigue. I'm sick of hearing it. You're not going to do nothing to help them? You're just going to say, I'm going to make up a new slogan. I got fatigue of poor people. I'm sick of hearing about it. Like, that's how y'all are, man.
That's exactly what they're going to do.
Yeah, I mean, you just, instead of helping the dude, you're going to just be like, oh, I'm sick of hearing it. You know what that is? Privilege. To be like, you know, I'm sick of it. I'm tired of hearing about these black people and their problems. They're getting shot. Who cares? I don't want to hear about it. I wish the news would just stop covering it. Like, and then you think that you're not racist after saying some shit like that. Right. These conspiracy theories are a form of distraction, man. They take away the focus away from actual hate groups and their crimes. And worse, they create a false sense of security. If you think Patriot Front is fake, then you're not taking their threat seriously. But see, when it comes to us, we take it seriously because we know that these hate groups don't like us.
We interact with the homeless community quite often, Jesse Brown.
We try to do as much as we can for the community, man. No one's feeling sorry for themselves. I'm not saying I'm a victim. We just had a segment about white victimhood, how they're sitting there saying that they're the victims. White conservatives are the victims today, not me. I have not said the word victim or anything once. We're talking about poor people and racism. I don't understand why you fuckers think that because I'm talking about this, I'm a fucking victim. Dude, it's so annoying. I'm not a victim. I'm not trying to be one. But I'm not online crying about DEI either. Go ahead.
But let's go ahead and be clear. There is no evidence. None. Zero. Zilch. None. That the Patriot Front is an FBI operation. Leaked chat logs from the group obtained by journalists at Unicorn Riot revealed years of organizing, vetting recruits, and pushing white nationalist rhetoric. No evidence.
Yes, DJ, most people are getting shot by their own kind, Mr. Racist. Most people are getting shot by their own kind. 88% of white people are killed by someone else white. 90-something% of black people are killed by somebody black. That's what happens. But you know what? We do not have thousands of black groups that speak to hate white people. But we do have thousands of white groups that hate black people and Jews. Thousands of them. And we're talking about one right now. Let's try to stay on subject. I know it's hard for y'all. I know it's hard. But the subject is hate groups and you guys trying to act like they don't exist when we see them marching all through the streets all the time. Most groups be silent kills them, they people inside of their own environment. And in America, which is a very segregated country, black people are around other black people. So that's who they kill. America, which is very segregated, white people are around other white people. So that's who they kill. You usually kill who is close to you, your family members. That's why, you watch it, you'll see how these, especially unsolved mysteries, where the white guy, the white woman gave the guy some
money.
Nah, she killed him. That's what I'm gonna say. And they have to try to figure out how this lady killed him. That's the people you kill. People, your husband, your homie, your friend. Those are the people that get killed. And usually,
First 48 is a great example of them showing this example of what you're talking about.
Most people kill somebody that's close to him. I don't understand why they always bringing up black on black crime. White on white crime is a high percentage of white people kill other whites. I don't understand. What are we talking about?
Right.
So why does this theory persist? Because it's easier for some to believe in government puppets than to face the reality that white supremacy is alive and well in America.
Yep. And as journalists and as citizens, we owe it to ourselves to stay grounded in our facts, not viral videos or half-baked theories.
Yeah, and we'll keep tracking these movements and separating speculation from verified information. Stick with Habari, because we're going to tell you the truth. We're not going to sit here and sugarcoat things to make ourselves feel better. Blacks kill more blacks than whites. Dude,
we just
said that. Be silent. You need to take your name's advice and just be silent, because you're not listening. You're not listening. We just said that. We know that. Everybody fucking knows that. Oh, my fucking God. All right, man. So we're going to go into the I think this is my final story. We're just going to go into the clips that matter for this week. Some of the clips that's been going through, just some of the things that we've that caught our eye through the weekend. We want to discuss with you guys to see what you thought. So to close out tonight's episode, we're diving into the wildest, weirdest, and most revealing video clips making the rounds this week. Clip number 1, Kylie went to Yale Law. He knows better. We start with a fiery moment from Congress where Representative Jasmine Crockett once again had to explain basic constitutional principles to her Republican colleagues. Republicans don't care about the Constitution. They love to act like they cared. But we all know now they want a monarchy. They want a king. When she says Kylie went to Yale Law, he knows better, she's not just calling out a man. She's calling out the weaponization of
accuse
ignorance.
me and my colleagues over here of ignoring the Constitution. And if that were true, that'd be a very serious matter. So I did want to just inquire as to what exactly the accusation is. So I'll happily yield to the gentlewoman from Texas if she'd like to respond. Do you believe that someone who has snuck into our country, entered the United States illegally, that the due process requirements for that individual are the same as they are for a U.S. citizen?
I thought the question was for me, but it seems like the lawyers on this side or just my entire team knows the answer.
Mr. Chairman?
Per the Constitution, yes, if you are on our soil, you are guaranteed due process. And the fact that there's even a question is why we are struggling right now. In addition to an additional issue that I have is the executive order that was signed by the president that seemed to get rid of birthright citizenship, which also is laid out in the Constitution, which is why even the most conservative judges have ruled against. There is no one that has ruled that that was okay.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that these people want to act like they don't know if everyone is supposed to have due process is just amazing. They don't care about the Constitution, man. Go ahead.
You're right. And it's frustrating that in 2025, we're still watching educated officials pretend not to understand how rights and governance work. But Crockett's composure and clarity,
Masterclass.
that's a masterclass we all need to be taking.
So now we want to go into the second clip. And this is about Jesus would be deported today. And he would be.
Yep.
Because he'd be brown and he'd be bummy looking and he'd be poor. And, you know, people today, they don't care about that.
Colored skin.
Yeah, they don't.
His
You know,
dark hair and dark eyes.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, we all know what would happen. Go ahead.
But, you know, they depict him as a white man with blonde hair and blue eyes. But let's go ahead and talk about this viral clip that said Jesus would be 100% deported if he were here today and called a woke radical socialist for preaching the book. Let's go ahead and run that clip.
I think it's the one with
very
AOC.
difficult to sit here and listen to arguments in the long history
Jesus
of
was
this
not
country of
He was
using
very
scripture and weaponizing and abusing scripture to justify bigotry. White supremacists have done it. Those who justified slavery did it. Those who fought against integration did it. And we're seeing it today. And
Arabs still have dark
sometimes, especially in this body, I feel as though if Christ himself walked through these doors and said what he said thousands of years ago, that we should love our neighbor and our enemy, that we should welcome the stranger, fight for the least of us, that it is easier for a rich man, it's easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to get into a kingdom of heaven, he would be maligned as a radical and rejected from these doors. And I know, and it is part of my faith, that all people are holy and all people are sacred unconditionally. And that is what makes faith sometimes, that's what prompts us to transform, because it is unconditional. It's not about that it is up to us to love parts of people. We love all people. There is nothing holy about rejecting medical care of people, no matter who they are on the grounds of what their identity is. There is nothing holy about turning someone away from a hospital. There's nothing holy about rejecting a child from a family. There's nothing holy about writing discrimination into the law. And I am tired of communities of faith being weaponized and being mischaracterized, because the only time religious freedom is invoked is in the name of bigotry and discrimination. I'm tired of it. It is not up to us. It is not up to us to deny medical care. It is up to us to feed the hungry, to clothe the poor, to protect children, and to love all people as ourselves.
Now, I see people on here talking about how AOC is nuts. Can someone be called nuts for saying they want to feed the poor, give everybody access to a better care? I mean, what type person you have to be to hear that and be like, ugh, that's gross. Like what type? You can't be a Christian. You have to be a piece of shit. You have to be. There's no way in the world you hear someone talking about giving people access to Medicare.
Right.
Giving people opportunities because they're poor. This is what Jesus talked about in the Bible. I don't understand. All of you people talking about you're Christians all the fucking time. And this girl is, this dude just called her retarded. She's retarded. And you got this girl is doing what she can to try to help her constituents. Like, dude, y'all, man. But Trump is right. You like Trump? You like Trump? The dude who's taking money away from the poor? What Bible did y'all read? The Bible is about giving to the poor, not taking from them. And y'all with the dude who's taking.
Exactly.
And dude, you're on the wrong side of history, bro. Y'all, I mean, one day when you wake up and you realize that you've been following a piece of shit and the funk finally gets on you from him, you're going to realize what you are. You're going to realize it. It's going to be too late for you, though. But to be against everyone having access to Medicare and medical, everyone getting the option and the opportunity, how can you be against that? The mega crowd, man, is they just staring in silence like NPCs trying to process a glitch. Let's be honest. If Jesus fed the poor, healed the sick, and preached love in 2025, ICE would be waiting for him at the border.
Yep.
Now let's get into the GOP congressman gets real about Trump's, his wall that he used to say Mexico was going to build. So we're going to talk about this, and it's a rare moment of honesty coming from Republicans, something they seem to not care about at all anymore. This lawmaker's admitting that many of us already knew Trump's big, beautiful wall was always more about campaign branding than actual national security. Let's go ahead and run that clip. You know which one it is?
Well, I'd love to stand here and tell the American people, we can cut your taxes and we can increase spending and everything's going to be just fine. But I can't do that because I'm here to deliver a dose of reality. This bill dramatically increases deficits in the near term, but promises our government will be fiscally responsible 5 years from now. Where have we heard that before? How do you bind a future Congress to these promises? Right. This bill is a debt bomb ticking. Mr. Speaker, we're not rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic tonight. We're putting coal in the boiler and setting a course for the iceberg. If something is beautiful, you don't do it after midnight. I oppose this bill.
Gentleman's time has expired.
Well, I'd love to.
It's real.
He was absolutely right about that. Because why would they decide to do this bill?
Right in the middle of the night.
Middle of the night while everybody's asleep. Nobody
they know
can
why
know what's
they
going
know why
on.
they was doing that shit.
They
in the
was
middle
trying
of
to
the
be
night
on some sneaky
because
shit.
they was on sneaky stuff. That's why.
Yeah. But I mean, it's refreshing, but also disturbing that these admissions are only seem to happen when no one is supposed to be recording what's going on. It's supposed to be a room of no cameras, no phones, no nothing out, and somebody happens to record what's going on during the session.
Let's go into another clip when Elon Musk is talking about President Taco's horrible deficit plan that he has, the big beautiful garbage bill that he's put together.
That he's calling it a disappointing bill.
Let's talk. Let's listen to Elon.
I was like,
and what do you have to say?
See the massive spending bill, frankly, which increases the budget deficit, not just decrease it, and undermines the work that the Doge team is doing.
I actually thought that when this big, beautiful bill came along. I mean, like, everything he's done on Doge gets wiped out in the first year.
I think a bill can be big or it can be beautiful, but I don't know if it can be both. My personal.
Now, Elon has packed up his bags and left the government. Like I said earlier, the savings that he supposedly put into the government, cutting all type of jobs and firing all these people and taking aid from U.S. aid, taking jobs from teachers, the money's going to be disappear. Everything that he did will be coming back into the deficit in a couple years. You heard what he just said. Everything he said was the truth just 2 months ago. Now that he's going to say something against Trump, oh, he's a lying sack of shit, right? The
and
dude
that's how
is admitting, he's admitting that it's a horrible plan. Horrible plan. You guys, you're never going to listen because you know what? Trump can do no wrong to you because he's the king, like Vincent said. All hail King Trump. Y'all, man, dude, y'all, hey, like I said, y'all some turncoats, man. Y'all was the people working with the British to make sure America didn't become what it is today. Y'all was with the British, man. Straight up turncoats, Benedict Arnolds.
Yep.
Now y'all want a king? Like, dog, it's insane to hear you motherfuckers say this shit.
Says the guy who sold his company to himself.
Right. Yeah, so, you know, in a surprising twist, Elon Musk came out against the GOP's budget bill this week, calling it disappointing and short-sighted. Short-sighted. Did you already say that?
Yeah,
when Elon's calling your play irrational, that says something. Even he knows that gutting education and infrastructure and fund taxes is a broken strategy.
Yep. And, you know, next we're going to go ahead and get into Carolyn Levitt's electricians over LGBTQ rant. She's made a statement this week and said that the U.S. needs fewer LGBTQ grads from Harvard, and we need more electricians and plumbers.
The president is more interested in giving that taxpayer money to trade schools, in programs, in state schools, where they are promoting American values, but most importantly, educating the next generation based on skills that we need in our economy and our society. Apprenticeships, electricians, plumbers. We need more of those in our country and less LGBTQ graduate majors from Harvard University. And that's what this administration's position is.
To do with your sexual orientation.
They act like LGBTQ is a class that you take in high school.
Right.
you take the class and you become gay soon as you take it. Like, dog, y'all have issues, brother. That you don't learn how to be gay in high school. It's not a class you take. You fucking idiots.
Man.
Then this dude come on here. I got a low IQ. Jag, just another guy. Boy, get the fuck out of here with that. Please. Please. And they're always coming with the racism. You have no idea what my IQ is. Stop it. This lady here is the biggest liar in the government. The kind of rhetoric just isn't just ignorant, it's dangerous. It's coded language meant to divide, to dehumanize, and to distract. We need both tradespeople and people who are gay. We need them. Why are we gonna throw people away because they're gay? This is their fucking business.
They don't like that someone is different than they are. And that's what it is. They don't like someone's different than they are. Everyone must conform to their whiteness. We must conform to what they want us to do, how they want us to do it, when they want us to do it. And they're mad that people are standing up for themselves and saying, you know, no.
Yeah, man. Hey, Jag, I'm going to ignore you because you don't come on here saying the N-word. I don't care what color you are. I don't care if you brown, green, yellows. Don't come on here saying that shit. Don't come on here talking about my IQ. You sound silly, bro. You want something and you want to have a real conversation? Let's say some real comments that's really worth something. What you're saying is garbage. So let's get into this next clip with Marco Rubio's anti-visa policy.
Under President Trump, the United States will stand with the Jewish people. We have implemented a vigorous new visa policy that will prevent foreign nationals from coming to the United States to foment hatred against our Jewish community. We are holding international organizations and nations accountable for rhetoric against Israel that resurfaces in the manifesto of monsters like Iran and Sarah's killer. But we do see an eventual light at the end of this long tunnel of suffering. one can imagine a Middle East in which the Abraham Accords eventually reign. So thank you for the opportunity to address you.
I think it's absolute trash that these people are trying to use the Jewish people as a crutch to take revenge out on schools and other people.
They're revoking student visas based off of the students' ideology,
Facebook posts, their beliefs. Right.
Like, someone can't be a Buddhist over here and a Muslim over here. That's two different beliefs, bro.
It's disgusting because
and you're gonna revoke a visa based off of that?
We have so much hate going on Twitter. So many people saying so many things about Palestinians, Black people, Mexican people, Hispanics. They're talking about everybody on X, and they try to hide this under the guise of free speech.
Right.
But if you say something on these platforms against the Jews, then you don't get the same protections as free speech as them. This is crazy. We got people saying spewing all type racism all over Twitter. Twitter is horrible. But you're like, oh, we're protecting the Jews. Like, this is crap. To sit there and say we don't care about any other group that has been marginalized. We only care about Israeli people and their plight.
Yep.
And they are the people that are really committing genocide. The world is against them right now. So it's insane to see people taking up for them. So this vigorous visa policy to block foreign nationals with anti-Israel views from entering the U.S. that includes revoking student visas based on ideology. It's insane, man. And that's not the diplomacy. That's suppression. China's already calling it hypocritical. And
Twitter
they are
is
right.
Not the best platform.
America claims to champion free speech unless it makes certain people uncomfortable.
Yep.
And that's bull.
Right.
So we go into this next Trump. Trump flips out over the taco nickname. And he deserves it.
Taco. The biggest taco ever.
Chump.
Mr. President, Wall Street analysts have coined a new term called the taco trade. They're saying Trump always chickens out on your tariff threats, and that's why markets are higher this week. What's your response to that?
I kick out?
Chicken out.
Oh, isn't that nice? Chicken out. I've never heard that. You mean because I reduced China from 145% that I set down to 100 and then down to another number? And I said you have to open up your whole country.
Yeah,
because
you keep backing out of everything.
The European Union a 50% tax tariff, and they called up and they said, please, let's meet right now. Please, let's meet right now. And I said, okay, I'll give you till July 9. I actually asked them, I said, what's the date? Because they weren't willing to meet. And after I did what I did, they said, we'll meet anytime you want. And we have an end date of July 9th. You call that chickening out? Because we have $14 trillion now invested, committed to investing when Biden didn't have practically anything. This country was dying. You know, we have the hottest country anywhere in the world. I went to Saudi Arabia. The king told me, he said, you got the hottest country. We have the hottest country in the world right now. 6 months ago, this country was stone cold dead. We had a dead country. We had a country people didn't think it was going to survive, and you ask a nasty question like that. It's called negotiation. You set a number. And if you go down, if I set a number at a ridiculous high number, and I go down a little bit, a little bit, they want me to hold that number, 145% tariff. Even I said, man, that really got up. You know how it got? Because of fentanyl and many other things, and you added it up.
Oh, he's so eager.
I said, where are we now? We're at 145%. I said, whoa, that's high. That's high. They were doing no business whatsoever, and they were having a lot of problems. We were very nice to China. I don't know if they're going to be nice to us, but we were very nice to China. And in many ways, I think we really helped China tremendously because, they were having great difficulty because we were basically going cold turkey with China. We were doing no business because of the tariff, because it was so high. But I knew that. But don't ever say what you said. That's a nasty question. Go ahead. To me, that's the nastiest question. Wait a minute. Wait.
Go ahead, bring it back, man. You know what's insane? Is that was another word salad of just garbage. What he said was word salad. Like it's so bad. So bad. He just dances around the point and never gets there. But then how he treats reporters is just, he has no respect for reporters because they ask him the questions he don't really want to hear. You are a taco, bro. You have chicken out of every tariff that you've put in place. When the Wall Street reacts, you chicken out. And the reason you're being called out on it because Wall Street don't care. They're not your clowns that's following you everywhere you go and making up shit, making sure that you don't look bad. Dude is doing a horrible job. If you put in legislation, why would you take it out because Wall Street didn't like it? If you feel as though your ideas are great, why would you remove the idea if it's so good? Why would you back out of it? Because you don't know what the fuck you doing.
Right.
That's why he's being called taco everywhere.
Everywhere.
Because he's a dumbass who's putting in all type executive orders, and all of them are being kicked back by the judges. And now he's blaming the judges because they're doing their job. They're part of the judiciary. They're part of the government. They are the judiciary branch. They make decisions on this country. It is not ruled by a king, and it never will be, no matter what you Trumpers say. So he was asked about this, the new Wall Street acronym TACO, which, like I said, means chump chickens. Trump always chickens out. The former president responded by completely mishearing it and then going off on a tangent about Saudi kings and dead economies. The dude is ridiculous. It's a mess. The moment proves the point. When pressured on tough policy, Trump often pivots, stalls, back downs, hence the nickname. He deserves it. He earned it. Honestly, it's not about what Trump hears. It's about what he refuses to hear.
Yep.
Criticism, accountability, and facts. Something none of you people like.
Mm-hmm.
So each of these clips reflects a moment where power and absurdity collide, but also where truth still breaks through the noise. And as always, we leave you with something to think about. This week's quote comes from Mr. James Baldwin, who wrote, "Not everything that is faced can be changed, but nothing can be changed until it's faced." That's something that you people need to learn. You need to learn that we cannot make changes unless we talk about these things. I know you all love, as soon as you hear racism, you don't want to hear it. You don't want to talk about it. But we can never fix hate. We can never fix these things if we don't discuss them and have this conversation up front. That's how we fix this stuff. That's how we make it okay to be white, to be black, to be ourselves. We have to stop hating each other and following people like this who's using that division for power. That's what we need to stop doing. This is not easy. This is not trigonometry. This is not something that's hard. It's not calculus. We can stop racism and hate if we wanted to, but I'm telling you, the rich are using this to keep us divided. They want us fighting in these comment sections over silly shit because they know the money is what's important. Why we fight about race and what color? We want to give everyone a fair chance, a fair shake. I don't care what color you look like. I don't care what you what you are. I don't care if you're gay. I don't give a fuck, man. If you're a good person, we will work with you. If you're a good person, we will want to know more about you. We don't care what color you are, bro. We don't care what you are. That has nothing to do with us. So go ahead, babe.
Yeah, so, thank you for facing the truth with us. Be safe, be informed, and always
stay curious.
Ask your questions.
Mm-hmm.
Think in your mind. Is this right?
That's real.
Is this true?
That's real.
Research it.
And
see if it's true.
I want you guys, everybody that's watching, please subscribe, hit the follow button. Even if you don't agree, we're going to have these discussions every week, and we'll talk about things, and maybe you won't agree with some of them, but at least we're having these discussions we can try to get to a better place.
Just because we're having the discussion does not mean we are race baiting at all. This is an open discussion. We welcome all of your viewpoints.
I was racist last week.
Just because
how was I racist?
Point out racist comments, just because we point out racist instances through America, through individuals who are saying racist things, does not make us racist.
Oh man. Hey John, H. John, are you guys Musk shrills? Because Musk is the richest guy in the world.
He's got damn near $1 trillion.
Outwardly, openly gave people checks for voting for Trump. And you're going to talk about shrills for Soros. Like, I don't get it, man. Why is the rules different from y'all? It doesn't make any sense. It's okay
for them to pay someone for the presidency.
It don't make any sense.
But the moment that the opposite party does the same thing, it's outrage. It's a problem.
It's weird, man. It is weird. All right, man. We're going to go into, before we get up out of here, let's go into a little sports. Go ahead and play that.
Blacks are not more racist than
how?
Whites.
When there's
Habari Sports.
Shield. Okay, I get you, bro. A shield. And you know the guy who just said that black people are more racist than whites. Then why are there 10,000 white hate groups, but I probably a couple black hate groups? Like, come on, man, stop it. Anyway, man, we're gonna talk about the playoffs real fast before we get up out of here. Welcome back to Habari Sports. I'm Damon E, like always, and today we're gonna dive into the 2025 NBA playoffs. Let's break down the latest developments and analyze what's next for the teams still in contention. The Minnesota Timberwolves, reflecting on a promising season, the Wolves' playoff run concluded with a 4-1 series loss to the Oklahoma City Thunder in the Western Conference Finals. Anthony Edwards, at just 23, showcased his growth, averaging 25.3 points, 7.8 rebounds, and 5.5 assists over 15 playoff games this season, despite a standout 30-point performance in Game 3, where Minnesota archived a historic 143-101 victory. The team couldn't maintain that momentum. Looking ahead, the Timberwolves have a solid foundation with Edwards, Rudy Gobert anchoring the team. However, to advance further, they'll need to address depth issues and development of a more consistent offensive strategy. Now, the Oklahoma City Thunder, a young team on the rise, the Thunder have been the surprise of the playoffs, advancing to the NBA Finals for the first time since 2012, led by MVP Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who averaged 30 points, 7 rebounds, and 6.4 assists in the postseason. Oklahoma City boasts a balanced attack with contributions from Jalen Williams, Chet Holmgren, and more. Their defense has been particularly impressive, holding opponents to an average of 94 points in their last 3 home games. With home court advantage secured, the Thunder are poised to make a strong push for the championship.
Harley said Knicks in 7.
Oh, really?
He said he's got courtside seats.
Oh, that's dope.
Tickets.
That's dope. That's dope, man. I don't know, man. The Knicks are battling in the East, facing elimination. The Knicks delivered a commanding 111-94 victory over the Indiana Pacers in Game 5 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Jalen Brunson led the charge with 32 points, while Karl Anthony Towns contributed 24 points and 13 rebounds. The Knicks' defense was key, limiting Tyrese Halliburton to just 8 points. The series now shifts back to Indiana for Game 6 today. If the Knicks can replicate their Game 5 performance, they have a real shot at forcing a decisive Game 7. We will see. I think the Pacers go ahead and close them out today, man. I just don't think the Knicks have it. The playoffs have been great, man. It's been awesome. No LeBron, and I think that's been a plus. None of the older players really made it out the first round, and I think that's been a plus. The storylines have been compelling. The Thunder's young core captured the title. I don't know. We go see if they can capture it. Will the Knicks complete their comeback? Stay tuned as we continue to cover every twist and turn of the 2025 playoffs. I really appreciate everybody coming in and making your comments, even if I hated them. Like Felicia, blacks feel prisons because white races and biased laws play. Yeah, you're right about that. A lot of biased laws and over policing of our neighborhoods and pulling us over all the time and messing with us all the time. That's why we go to jail. And if you look at the statistics, when white people are pulled over, they are more likely to have drugs and paraphernalia, but we always go to jail somehow. It's kind of crazy how those things work out.
Jesse Brown said, how many white dads go ghost and how many white dads go ghost?
Yeah, I don't know the numbers on that.
I got those numbers for you. 45% of black households are single mothers. 25% are Hispanics. 14% white mothers. And 8% Asians.
Yeah, it's definitely too high, man.
However, it is important to note that while black mothers have the highest percentage of single motherhood, the absolute number of white single mother families may be larger due to the overall population size of white individuals in the U.S.
I mean, at the same time, a lot of people don't get married. They were probably...
and that's exactly what they're going based off of. Yes. They're going based off of how many black people are married versus how many white people are married.
And that's the part. So it's a racist stat, but we have to keep trucking and trying to get better as a community. And that's all we're trying to do. We want to see people stay together. We want to see couples stay together. We want to see our community get stronger. And it doesn't matter what color you are. We just want to see us get better, man. Black people are rude, loud. Oh my goodness, bro! You the one that sat there and said that you wasn't white, and everything you've said has been racist as fuck. You got so mad. You sound white. That's why. I mean, you're pretty racist, bro. You saying you're brown? I don't understand this. You Kevin Gates? Is that what you are? We was supposed to play that clip today, but I ain't got time for Kevin Gates today. We already went over. So, all right, man. Thanks everybody for watching. Habari Ghani for everybody. Hope you have a good rest of your week. We'll see you here next Saturday, same time, 11 o'clock. We appreciate everybody. Please subscribe, follow, put those alerts on for we can, like I said, have these discussions. It may not always be easy. You may not always agree, but hearing the other side and talking to the other side is the best way for us to get through these things that we're going through. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Holla, holla.
Peace out.
Thanks for watching another episode of Habari Live. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and get updates on news, the podcast, and more. Follow us on Facebook,